These are the most satisfying NBA fakes that the league's ever seen. The first one happens to be on Mr. Burner account himself, Kevin Durant. Durant got faked out so hard by Manu Ginobili on this play that he had to have defended the play on Twitter when he saw this video trending.
Remaining fourth quarter. Here's Ginobili. Oh, beautiful ball fake.
Don't worry though, Durant isn't going to be the only player that gets sauced up in this video. Just take Eric Gordon sending LeBron James into the spin cycle as a perfect example of this. Somebody get this king a map.
It's there for Monk on the opposite side. There's a little sauce there by Aaron.
Rajon Rondo also hops into this video with a behind-the-back fake for the ages. In fact, some even say that Rondo's a point guard that perfected these types of fakes, and the reaction he got after this one's exactly why.
Rondo with the fake. Oh, what a beauty.
Rondo isn't the only point guard that has some tricks up his sleeve. The point guard himself, Chris Paul, would like a word in that category. This man went ahead and got Mason Plumlee not once, but twice on the same play before sinking the mid-range jumper.
Usually relishes that opportunity. Oh, did he fake him out?
It's not just the point guards getting in on the fun. Even the biggest players in the NBA can deliver some cold fakeouts. Just ask Boban Marjanovic, as he did the Philadelphia 76ers dirty during what was nearly a 50-point blowout win.
3-minute stretch. Two to shoot for Marjanovic. Wow.
It's about time that Kyrie Irving pops up in this video. The former Cleveland Cavalier did Damian Lillard wrong with this move. It's almost like Kyrie wanted to prove that he's better than Lillard in the league's point guard rankings.
Curry is so good. Points suddenly Portland with 11. Irving. Look, which way to go?
It wouldn't be a fake-out video if Rudy Gobert didn't find himself needing a map. Just watch what Luka Doncic does to the supposed best defensive center in the league.
Go down, he rebounds his own miss. He's going to go back up. He fakes Gobert.
Gobert and the Utah Jazz can't be let off the hook that easily, as this wasn't the first time they got sauced up by one of the league's premier players. Kawhi Leonard was able to do just that when he was still on the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, man, that was a heavy 13 of 28 from 3. Oh, what a pass! And Gasol.
Gobert and Utah shouldn't feel bad, though. Some guys happen to pop up on this list multiple times. Manu Ginobili does, but for the opposite reason, as this dude just repeatedly torched defenders with tricky ball handling moves.
Ginobili working against Dante.
Even DJ Augustin got himself in on the action with a sneaky fake pass that fooled somebody that has made a living off being crafty with the basketball, Trae Young. Yet in this instance, Young lost complete view of the basketball before watching Augustin sink a mid-range jumper right in his eyes.
Nasty. Augustine.
Speaking of mid-range jumpers, Richaun Holmes not only got embarrassed with this fake, but he also got to just sit back and watch someone drill the shot. Dwayne Wade faked a pass behind Holmes' back so bad that he had this man spin around with his head on a swivel trying to find it again. Sometimes these fakes don't take much. This Steph Curry fake got his opponent so bad off just a simple move that he literally couldn't help but fall over on the most important stage of the game. If I were him, I wouldn't be showing my face on social media ever again.
Up to the corner. It's Kyrie cutting through the hoop.
Curry, defender falls down. And
a few moments later.
Hopefully you all remember the former Jazz legend, Emmanuel Mudiay, because he pulls off a behind-the-back fake so nasty, you would have thought it was Rajon Rondo out there dribbling the ball.
ballet.
Nice lob, Joe. Moody.
Those behind-the-back fakes, even if it isn't your back, seem to be unbelievable on the basketball court. Luka did one of those fakes but behind his defender and had him looking around in circles before realizing that the man he was defending still had the ball.
16 now for Karis LeVert. A drive inside on Moses Brown. He got bumped and still scored.
Boy, oh boy, Gobert just can't catch a break here. Chris Paul must have caught the memo about him being easily faked out when guarding around the perimeter. And he sure did take advantage of it. Made this poor guy spin and run around before he turned again.
Look at good part of accepting the role and just thriving in it.
Right now he's on the court with Paul.
It's not always Chris Paul doing the tricks, as Curry made sure that he was on the receiving end of one of those here. CP3 attempted to get out in front of an early jumper from Steph, only to find himself here on this highlight reel in the wrong way.
Curry, all pretty fake, pulls up. There's the first.
It became personal with me.
Doncic pops up again in this video, and this time he whips out a very similar move to the last one. One might say that he's been able to perfect the fake behind the back pass of an opponent. Nobody in Chicago knew where that basketball was until it was too late. Dallas extended their lead by that point.
The way he's playing.
Luka tricked him. Found Jordan.
There's been talks that Steph is one of the most underrated players in the league when talking about his craftiness off the ball. Just watch this clip of him not only faking out Kawhi Leonard multiple times to get open, but then he hits him with a beautiful step back to drill the three-pointer in his face.
In this game, splitting a pair.
Curry around Kawhi Leonard. He lost him and hit a three.
Craftiness has become more and more of a skill in today's NBA. LaMelo Ball did a perfect job of utilizing his craftiness against the Toronto Raptors when he pulled off one of the wildest moves you'd see today, spinning around an incoming defender before draining a three-pointer in somebody else's face.
PJ. LaMelo. How did he do that?
Unlike how LaMelo wasn't somewhat stationary during this fakeout, Giannis Antetokounmpo was flying down the court with the burners activated against the Brooklyn Nets. As we all know, it's hard enough to stop Giannis when he's running this fast down the lane, but it gets even harder when you have to worry about him doing this to you.
See the smile on his face.
Here comes Giannis racing. Look at that speed.
Big men can get in the fun as well. And not just these point forwards like Giannis, we're talking about the big men like Mason Plumlee. When he was still on the Detroit Pistons, Plumlee woke up one day and decided to unleash the absolute nastiest ball fake move that he'd ever pulled out in his career against the Nets.
Ultimate patience there underneath.
Jeremy Grant to Plumlee. Plumlee with.
All those CP3 fans out there don't have to worry about him being sauced up again, because he's on the other end of it this time. Working along the baseline, he hit back-to-back moves against his defender to free up space for the jumper. Somebody learned from the last time he got crossed over on the baseline by Steph Curry.
Had the last couple of seasons in the playoffs. You mentioned it earlier. Oh my goodness.
This next guy certainly isn't Steph Curry or Chris Paul, though that behind-the-back fake is just as scary to go up against. Terrence Jones unleashed this on the Nets, who happened to get taken to school quite a bit looking back on it. This wasn't his first time doing this move either, as some former teammates have openly said that Jones has one of the best behind-the-back fakes that they'd ever seen.
Harassed by LeBron. And behind his back. Into the Jones show. Go!
No behind-the-back needed here. The king himself, LeBron James, finally appears in this video again, and boy did he make the Indiana Pacers confused with this one. This has to be one of the few times that I've ever seen a player fake yelling at someone mid-play to get them to move, just to open a backdoor cut to the rim. Wild stuff from James.
My goodness.
If you thought that was wild, just wait until you see this next play. This dude didn't just fake out one guy on the play, but he got 3 different Minnesota Timberwolves players to jump out of their shoes before turning and drilling the floater. You just know that these guys wanted to avoid this part when watching film the next day.
Nice fake. And the back.
Getting back to LeBron now, he faked out almost all the Los Angeles Lakers players that were on the floor with this move. It's one of the most impressive and shocking ball fakes that we've seen in recent memory. Just with the way that he whipped that basketball all the way down the lane with one hand and without even really paying attention to it.
Tries to get back to him. Smith missed it badly. It carries out James with a new shot clock.
You all know how the story goes with big men trying to go out there and defend perimeter shooters. You could probably guess how this next play goes with Marcin Gortat being stretched out wide to try and defend Curry after he drove into the lane. The results were not one, but multiple fakeouts followed by a jumper in his face.
Going to Kyle Korver right there for you.
12 with Oklahoma City.
Todd trying to stay with Stephen. Oh,
Drew Holiday's next up in video, as he decides to take the Timberwolves to class with the way he drove into the paint. With the teammates spreading to the corner, Taj Gibson couldn't do anything but bite on the fake pass to the corner, leaving nobody out there for Holiday to be stopped.
Beautiful move by Curry.
How about that take?
Despite having not watched this guy play basketball in years, we can always look back and see what he used to do. Here he fakes out multiple Boston defenders en route to an emphatic slam at the rim to get his team fired up in a playoff series, and they needed it down 3-1 in the series.
Talking about a trick shot.
Golden State cannot wait. And Simmons again.
Make sure to check out LaMelo Ball playing street ball in the NBA next by clicking the video that appears on your screen now.